Hello, Year 4. My goodness, this is getting very exciting, isn't it? In the previous chapter, Pippa's had the ideal opportunity to kill the weasel. Something he's wanted to do since the very beginning of the story, since the robbery. It's all he's wanted to do. When he gets the chance, he can't do it. He can't kill another person. Let's see what happens in chapter 52. The weasel rolled out of bed, completely naked, and sprang towards the open door. His girlfriend sat up, pulling the blanket around herself, and said, "What's going on?" The weasel ignored her. Yelling a stream of threats and curses, he hurled himself down the stairs. When he reached the bottom, he found someone lying in a heap, but not the boy. Even in the darkness, the weasel could see immediately that the enormous body squashed into the hallway couldn't possibly belong to that skinny boy who'd just been in his bedroom. He kicked the fat man, trying to wake him up, and shouted, "Where is he? What have you done with him?" The fat man just groaned. "Oh, I don't believe it," muttered the weasel. He grabbed the bolt that was locking the front door and pulled. As usual, it was stuck. He pulled harder, forcing it with all his strength. Now, had the weasel taken a minute to think things through, he'd have realised that the intruder must still be inside the house. If anyone had gone outside, the bolt would already have been drawn across. But he didn't bother thinking. He was too angry, too upset, and still only half awake. All his available brain power was focused on finding that boy and causing him a lot of pain. He struggled with the bolt, pulling as hard as he could. Suddenly, the bolt slid across. The weasel swung the front door open and charged into the street. That was when he saw the bear. He didn't immediately know she was a bear. His confused brain just put together what he could actually see: the shaggy fur, the huge paws, the broken teeth, and warned him that there was some kind of monster standing in the street. What was that? A boy in a fur coat? No. An enormous dog? No. Some kind of exotic animal? Maybe. A bear? It looked like a bear. But why would a bear be standing in the street right outside his house in the middle of the night? All these thoughts flashed through the weasel's mind in the very brief moments before the bear raised herself onto her hind legs and roared. The weasel shrieked. If he hadn't been fully awake, armed and clothed, he might have known what to do. But he was confused, defenceless, and remember, completely naked. He stumbled backwards, trying to put some distance between himself and the bear, and a lump of timber thudded into his back. Pip had been standing behind him, holding the timber like a two-handed sword and swinging it with all his strength. The pain was astonishing. The weasel cried out and fell to his knees. Pip dropped the timber, dodged round the weasel and grabbed Miranda's rope, and together they galloped down the street, him on 2 legs, her on 4, running as fast as they'd ever run in their lives. The weasel knelt there, not moving, not even breathing, just watching the boy and the bear sprint away from him. A moment later, they had disappeared into the gloom. Wow. I think they were lucky the weasel was half asleep, don't you? Do you think he'll go after them when he's put some clothes on? Listen up, see what happens in the next chapter. Bye for now, Year 4.